Hey, sister girl. Hey, sister girl and brother man. This week, we're doing something special because healing isn't just for us, it's for our husbands, our brothers, our sons, and our relationships. So if you know somebody, go ahead and share this, save this, send it to them because I'm bringing on someone who's been seeing both. My husband, y'all know him as the husband, Frederick Brown, a man who couldn't walk 2 years ago. And we just found out today it is his 2 year carniversary today. Because he's walking, he's healed, he's got his joy back. And sis, when your man starts healing, your whole house changed. And that's what I want to talk about. Hey, honey.
Hey, hey.
All right, so
How you ladies doing today?
we
Good
doing,
evening, Mr.
Good evening. Good
Brown.
evening. Good evening.
yeah, you know
Glad to be
what?
here.
Hey,
Good
Mr. Brown. Hey, sister girl.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey.
I know. So listen, y'all. I put in my husband's stuff to show so people get an idea. I'm gonna do a quick. Babe, we was fluffy together. You hear me? We were fluffy together. And there's one. You can see that's the different one of us. Hold on. I think there's another one up in here. Oh yeah, here. This is like at the beginning, way back. Y'all see the difference in his beard? And there we were on an airplane on that one. Yes, we were fluffy together.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. So let me just I want you to kind of go back with the audience. Frederick, we did a Hey Brother Man last quarter. He was part of the audience along with Mr. Davis, Mr. Sam Davis. He was part of the audience as well, not the audience, on the panel. And you shared some things then that were eye-opening even for me. And so tonight, I want to talk about what was your health like before carnivore?
Wow. All I can say is pain, pain, pain. Um, we're talking gout. We're talking some type of arthritis that rheumatologists couldn't put a finger on it, didn't know why. We're talking glaucoma. Initially thought to be glaucoma, but uh, a specialist said that it wasn't glaucoma, and he didn't understand why I had so much inflammation in my eyes. Why my the pressure in my eyes were spiking, causing me to lose my vision. No explanation. The only thing that I got was medications, hundreds of dollars constantly. Um, so it was a misery for me, from the eyes to the ankles, the knees, everything. Nothing was really working for me, and I felt that I was really aging pretty quickly, and I felt myself becoming disabled.
Mm.
And I know you're going to show the video, but it had gotten to the point where I had so much inflammation, so much pain in my knees and my ankles. The thing is, it's one thing to have or be debilitated in one leg or one foot. Yeah, you can kind of manage with a cane. But I got to the point where that debilitation moved to both legs, both feet simultaneously, and that was crippling. I mean, it was one that would bring tears to my eyes. I couldn't stand on my feet. I couldn't walk. Um, it, it was just unbelievable, and I would literally sit on the side of the bed at nights and cry. Felt helpless, and I had eliminated pretty much everything from my diet except for chicken Caesar salad with the salad dressing, and I was still having these flare-ups. I was taking prednisone and all other types of medications, and I was still having these occurrences. Nothing that would allow me to walk without a limp, walk without a cane, and even at one point my mother-in-law's walker. So that's what my life was like prior to carnivore.
Here, I'm going to show the video for people to get a visual of. And soon as this video come on, if you listen, you'll hear this is probably one of the few sounds that he made.
A man barely alive.
I was in the backyard running less than 3 weeks later.
Yeah, so we didn't hear you. It had muted you, but I kind of heard you. I think you were trying to talk about it. So, what were you saying while it was playing?
Well, you saw me kind of pushing with my left foot. Both ankles were really, really hurting, and I was pushing with one and trying to hold myself up at the same time, and I was grunting, trying to get to the bathroom. And what you saw in our bathroom, what you saw is me trying to get to that first door. Now the water closet actually has another door, so once I got to the first door, I still had to get to another door, right? And then repeat all of that to come back to the bed. So it was very theatrical for me, just going to the bathroom, and that was my life before carnivore. Pain, pain, pain.
Okay, so I mentioned in the intro that, well, let me just say, I'm setting it up like this because, ladies, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what health your husband is, but I also know that I keep having to put my condolences in on post where you're losing your spouse early in life. This is not people in their 70s and 80s and papa is gone. These are people in their 40s having to now become a widow. Um, these are people in their heck in their 30s that I know, because I told y'all Danielle left here. She was married. So her husband became a widow when my daughter was 30 years old. So it's happening, but I'm seeing so much. You guys haven't even made 50 together, and he's no longer here. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to set it up like that, with the different illnesses, high blood pressure, all of this that our men and our uncles and our brothers and our favorite cousins are going through. So I did mention that today is his 2-year anniversary, carniversary, where he's been carnivore for 2 years. Now mine is in
Let,
2
let-
more
let me
days.
say let me say one thing. Let me say one thing, Jane. My I'm 60. I'll be 62 this year, right? My dad died at the age of 54. I was 34 when he died, so he was at the age of 54, and his dad died when he was 37. So there isn't a history of longevity for the men on my side of the family, and I was concerned with my heart. But if you really think about it, you know, it had to have been the food that they ate, the food and the alcohol. And I know my dad drank, and I'm sure my granddad drank, chasing women, you know. But that along with the food is what is what probably killed them. All right, go ahead, baby.
You know what? Leave my father-in-law alone and my grandpa alone. Okay, so what I want to know now, since you've been carnivore and been eating this way, what has life been like for you?
It's been more than miraculous for me. Healing, that there's so much power in it. You know, I often think about the drug addiction I had. I used to say I only had one drug addiction, and that was chapstick. But no, actually, I had two. Not only the chapstick, but sugar. That was a big drug for me. Everything that I ate. I mean, from drinking the sodas, drinking the sweet teas, from eating, you know, watermelons, just everything that I consumed had sugar, and that's not even counting the carbs that converted to sugar. That's just straight sugar that I'm talking about. So my life has really changed. I no longer eat those foods. I haven't had bread in 2 years since I've been carnivore. I have snuck a piece of watermelon here or there. So, I'm going to be transparent. It hasn't been, I'm not going to sit here before you and say I've been strict carnivore for 2 years and haven't slipped. A lot of people slip, but it hasn't been much. Um, but for the most part, my life now is so much better. I feel so much better. And last time I was on your show, I think you inquired about my physical activities, and I think I said that uh, I was doing push-ups occasionally, not very frequently, but now over the last, I would say, almost a couple of weeks, right towards the latter part of our cruise, I began to work out with my wife. I began to walk. I began to add a workout regimen. I started doing hits, high intensity interval training, and
Planking.
planking, yeah, centered around planking, doing a lot of planking. So I'm seeing and feeling differently, so much better, so much stronger. Um, it's just wonderful. And my relationship with my wife, it's grown tremendously. I think that's one of the things that really helps our household is that both of us are doing this. It's not just one. So we have each other to lean on. We have each other for support. And I know we know people that are doing this, and you don't have that two member support, and it can be a little difficult. I understand that, but I'm blessed that in this household we're doing this together. So it's been a joy for me.
One of the things I wanted to add, and there might be some people in the audience feel the exact same way. Uh, I love through my food. Um, when you truly enjoy to cook, I was the one I wanted to do pretty much everything for Thanksgiving, because it was joy in making it from scratch. And I sit and I think during that time, because you weren't a big cake eater, every now and then, but sweet potato pies you liked, and you really favored your mother's sweet potato pie. So I went to your mama and I said, "How you making your pie? Because my man ain't finna like your pie more than he like my pie." And she started laughing, and I'm like, "But I'm for real." So I brought her to the house. Now here you make the sweet potato, and I stood there and I watched her. I watched her because that's how that's what he liked, and I knew that he loved him some sweet tea. And y'all, I can cook some tea. I'm just telling you right now, I can cook a pot of tea and make that picture. And now that I think back, knowing that you were only to have a teaspoon of sugar, and Lord knows I loaded that the tea was very potent. Let's put it like that. It you
Delicious.
Yes, it was. You knew you were drinking sweet tea. You ain't what the no, it wasn't sugar water. Even though there was a lot of sugar in it. But I just think about the times where, I'm thinking I'm doing something special because a woman ran it. I was in the grocery store, and I'm gonna be honest, this was a few years back. And I was looking for some instant mashed potatoes because it was like I can make some so much easier with some boiling water. And she said, "Honey, are you married?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Put that box down. Go over there and get that man some real potatoes." And ever since that woman dropped that in my spirit, he had real potatoes. So I'm peeling it. I'm making my mashed potatoes. I'm doing my pork chops, and I love me some gravy. And so I'm feeling that I am showing him love through my cooking. No, all of those illnesses and everything came from the food that we ate. The flour. I tell people when you were a kid, flour and water made the paper mache. And you made the cute little elephant. At least that's what I did. And you had that and you were making these different things. Well, the same flour and water that made the paper mache is the same flour and water that you put in a cake, that you put in the pie crust, that you put in these different things. And it's like, it's doing the same thing inside of your body. So where we were doing this act of love, we're actually harming both bodies. And
Yep.
I know I felt like I'm big, So what I'm finna say about you being big, and then the thought of what we had to do to not be big, that was just too much.
And don't forget about the gallbladder. You know, I would try to eat fat, and you're like, don't eat that. You know, don't eat that skin. Don't eat that. Eat this. You know, you're the one that caused me to lose my gallbladder.
You know what? Because just because I've so what we're talking
I,
about now,
I had it before I was with you.
you know what? So this is it. Your gallbladder is designed for fat and red meat, your meats, right? The bile in it does that. Well, I'm cutting out the fat, I'm cutting out the red meat and all these other things, and you're putting the flour in water and making glue, and the bile doesn't come out of the gallbladder. It turns into sludge, and next thing you know, it's infected and needs to come out. And so I know that when I went vegan and there was no meat in the house, we're not doing it. Oh my God, this thing, all of that he had to go through, and he ended up losing his gallbladder. Uh, Let me ask this, and then I'll move on to my part. What do you feel has really healed between you and I since we've been both carnivore?
Wow, so much. I think the thing that is the most for me would be our relationship. I think we both have a clearer sense, um, uh, a stronger passion and drive for one another, and it's like I have a new wife now. So I'm excited. There's a level of excitement for me after 20 years of marriage, being 61 years old, that I never thought I know that I didn't even feel when I was in my 20s and 30s. So it's a much better life for me, relationship wise, with you, and that's the most for me.
I had to unmute myself because I was getting ready to start talking. And
I was
I
gonna
feel,
say, that's the right answer, Frederick. That's the right answer, sir.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna add, like, while healing our bodies, something else was happening with us as well. Our marriage was healing. Things that over the last couple of years that I've laughed and joked about, just talking about our intimacy. Uh, Look how we can actually come together now and not just like, oh, and tapping out and the struggles that that we had because we were big. There was some struggles. Um, Years of emotional weight. I'll say it again. How do you turn around and want someone to lose? So I think that all of a sudden you start finding happiness together in y'all fatness. Um, and then one person start feeling some kind of way because they sick and tired of being big, and he and I will start something, and then all of a sudden he lost weight much faster than I did. And it's like, you done lost 20 pounds. I done barely got off 8. I don't want to do this anymore. And then it's that battle. It's the food all along. It is the food. Is there anything else, honey, that you want to add before we move on?
Uh, no. Other than I really enjoy you guys' show. I think you do a tremendous job, and you know, if you really talking to the audience, if you really haven't watched them, please stay tuned and go back and look at some of the other shows. There's a lot of good information, and I just appreciate what you guys do, and thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, you so
Thank
sweet.
you, Frederick.
I'm
Yeah.
swapping you out now because I want to go on to some more talking points. I know for him and I, we go ahead and mute yourself, honey. Yeah. For him and I, one of the things he alluded to was saying, like, on the things changed on this last cruise, and I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'm one that I like to connect my past. I believe that my current behavior, that something is reminding me of what triggered me in the past, and you keep acting in it. And My husband, on the other hand, he's one, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. I'm moving forward. I'm trying to make a better life. I'm trying to do these different things. I acknowledge all that other stuff. I'm not getting ready to let that hurt me. Um, just keep moving forward, G. And I'm saying to him, but it seems like we keep making, like, we're arguing and having a disagreement over the same stuff. And I believe if we don't understand where this is coming from, and I say that on that last cruise, that was one of the things where we were able to, in a clear mind, that's the thing, in a clear mind, connect the dots. And when we did, it was like a whole revelation. And for me, because he and I are opposites, I will connect from the past and say, oh, that's happening. Do you remember this? This is what's triggering it. And it makes our relationship so much better. I'm just trying to move forward in this happiness that we have. I agree with you, and I know that walking this life as carnivores has helped us tremendously. And so, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's watching, that's the reason why we keep coming on week after week after week, because we're experiencing things, and it's your time. This is your time. So what I mean by that is your time to have a better life health wise. It's your time to not feel those aches and pains. Some people can't lift their arm up, can't comb your hair. Some can't brush their teeth. That was me. It was this right arm, a torn rotor cuff. And all of this, you're fighting with food. And we just can't say it enough. I can say that together it did turn our relationship around. It makes you want to go on walks together. And instead of take me out to eat, take me over to the park where we can walk. Take me down to the water so we can walk on the beach in the sand. One of the things that we have done here on the channel, for those that watch through our channel, I just spent 31 days on a ship doing the carnivore lifestyle, eating the best, eating 4 or 5 times a day because I don't have to count calories. I am doing this, I am sharing, and people, they always want to know, what is it that you're doing? I'm making a sacrifice that most people don't want to do, because the moment that we share this, you automatically think about, well, I really like my sweets. Or better than that, you turn around and say, well, I'm a baker. I love baking and I do this, I do that. I'm in charge of this. Okay, well, if your life and your aches and pains, they working for you, then just stick with it, sis. Stick with it, bruh. I'm good with it. You happy with your A1C? Because I tell you right now, Denitra getting ready to let you have it on it. If you happy with those side effects, Robin most definitely can tell you about it. So I'm getting ready to turn it over. That I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to transition, because this can be emotional for you. There's so many different things that can happen over in this platform. And so let's hear from somebody else. All right, Robin, take it away.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Good night. I'm so happy that we have Frederick here. I'm going to have a question for you, Frederick. So I'm going to be bringing that up. But tonight I'm talking about like emotional eating and how it really steals your joy. It steals your life, basically. So as I was thinking about this topic tonight, I thought about being a child and how we always soothe ourselves with food. We soothe our children with food. Just the other day, I was with my grandchildren, my littlest one. She's about to be 3, I think. And she was just so upset because she really, really wanted a sucker. And one of the kids had a sucker. The other kid did not have a sucker. And this child was so mad because she couldn't have a sucker because there was only one. And we soothe ourselves with these sweets. And you think about it, when you're sad, somebody's going to give you a cookie as a child, or they're going to take you out for ice cream. I always talk about the fact that we give our brand new 1-year-old baby a cake to smash, like a whole cake. That is so crazy to me now as I think about it. But we do all of these things to soothe ourselves. So we grow up with this attachment to food as an emotional attachment. Um, and so the cravings that I was having were attached to feelings. My main feeling, the primary feeling that I have felt most of my life has been fear. And that is just being super, super transparent. I've been afraid of everything. And so when I was afraid or anxious or happy or sad, it didn't matter. I would always turn to food. I was actually talking to my husband about this, and this is where I'm getting to my question for Frederick, because I was thinking, what is it? What is that emotional attachment? Even today, I overate because it has to do with the emotional attachments to the food. So he was talking about crunchy food, and I know my husband loves to crunch. He's like a crunch person. He will snap those chips. He's snapping them with his teeth. And it gives some sort of satisfaction. I hope he's okay with me talking about this. But it gives some kind of satisfaction. And I just wonder, Frederick, like from a male perspective, are you guys dealing with this emotional piece? The emotional women are just, I'm a woman, so I'm actually going to understand it from a woman's perspective that I am living or have been living my life out of a place of an emotional attachment to food. So I wanted to just ask this question to Frederick and see if you guys are dealing with the same thing.
Well, based on what you said, and I can see that we probably are, but I don't think most men ever make that connection. Um, you know, our eating habits, like your husband said, he likes to crunch. I mean, I do that when I drive a lot. I want to eat to stay awake. So I'm eating subconsciously to do something or feel some void. And it may be emotional, but I've never really made that connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like it is. It stems from our childhood trauma, things that we may not even really realize that we do. And I too was like, gee, I was the person who cooked everything. And there was something so satisfying about people enjoying the food, right? And people being excited that you're going to cook. Oh, Robin's going to make lasagna, or oh, Robin's going to make this, whatever. I would feel so much joy about that. And when I think about carnivore, I don't really get that utmost satisfaction from the way that I'm cooking today because it's super simple. It's so simple. So there's all these layers of emotional attachment to the food, the preparation, the sharing with other people like I did today. We're at an event, a family event. Everybody's pigging out, and so I find myself overeating, and that has to do with an emotional attachment. So I have not necessarily been delivered. I'm not fully delivered from emotional eating, to be honest. But what I have found is that there are things that help with this. First of all, there is a lie that we tell ourselves. And this, honestly, this lie that I told myself was something that had me after 5 years on keto, going through 5 years of Cheeto, and I'm back on the diet roller coaster. And that lie is that I deserve this. I deserve to eat sweet corn because it's summer. I deserve this sweet thing because it's going to make me feel better. This is a lie. You're just getting on down a slippery slope, and allowing those emotions to control you. So there are certain things that have helped me with this. One of the things is really this, that I have really connected the word, and if you know me, you know that I'm a God girl. I'm a church girl. And so connecting that word on a daily basis to the lifestyle changes that I have made that are causing my body to heal themselves. And I know that God, in his infinite perfection, he wants me to live the abundant, happy, and healthy life that he has promised. When I say happy, maybe not necessarily happy, but satisfied life that he promised, the abundant life. So, the scripture says the word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. And I'm finding that every day when I can find that light, regarding my choices, my food choices, my way of eating, and living this sugar-free lifestyle, fully, sugar-free lifestyle, that the emotions of it become less. I don't need to deal so much with the emotional aspect. And so the truth of it is that this sugar is killing us, right? We're emotionally attached to foods that do not serve us and that are literally causing our cells to break down inside of our bodies. And I loved it. What Denitra said when she was here was that we are presenting, we're supposed to be presenting our body as a holy sacrifice to the Lord. We're presenting a decaying, corroded body because we're just overloaded with sugar. And so, so that's the truth of it. And so the truth, when you know the truth will make you free. And so being free in your mind about it is helpful to deal with the emotions of it, because there's always going to be those emotions. And especially things stemming from childhood that you don't even know. Sometimes this thing just rises up in you because it's something that's coming from your growing up. I was actually with my dad and my stepmom yesterday, and I was talking to them about, living a sugar-free lifestyle, becoming a carnivore, doing a carnivore diet. And my stepmom told me, but sugar is good for my body. And I was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's not. It's a lie. It's just a lie. And then the sugar is in so many things. We were talking about the difference between high fat and low fat. And like when you see something that says light on the label, you can guarantee that they have added sugar to that to make it taste like something. Because when they took the fat out, they had to add something to make it palatable. So these are the lies that we have been telling ourselves. So we desire these crunchy things, and it gives us emotional satisfaction. It feels good to eat some of these things, but they are not serving your body. So, I'm trying to let go of that. I'm trying to, first of all, be observant. As G and Frederick were talking about, they're observing not only their bodies, but their relationship together and their relationship with food. This is the mental clarity that comes along with eliminating sugar from your way of eating. That mental clarity is likely not going to happen unless you clear that stuff out, clear the cobwebs out, so that you can actually observe what's happening in your body without having those driving urges that force you to go and do something that you don't really want to or need to do. So that's the emotional piece of it. That is, those cravings, literally your body is telling you, I have to have this because of insulin. And I know Denitra is going to talk to us about the scientific portion of it, but your body is being driven by sugar to indulge in certain things. And so, you can eliminate that, and you can eliminate it so fast. Your head will spin at how fast that this kind of thing will just go away. I mean, I'm working with about 5 or 6 new people right now who have just started carnivore, and they're amazed at how fast the mental clarity, not only the mental clarity, but also that hunger and cravings is just eliminated. And we don't have to continue to deal with that. So emotional eating, it keeps you feeling some kind of comfort, but it also keeps you stuck in a rut. And we need to get uncomfortable. We need to get uncomfortable in order to allow our healing to happen. And so I really, in my life, my desire is to be healed. I don't want to be on medications. I don't want to be struggling with all this mental health issue. And when I talk about anxiety and fear and all of those things, this is all a mental health issue that I was dealing with because I was ingesting all the wrong things and putting all the wrong foods in my body. So, emotional eating is a true thing. It's a real thing. But it doesn't have to control your life. It really doesn't. It does not have to control your life. And you can get yourself back under control when you put the right food and fuel in your body. All right. So we're going to talk about what's happening biologically, because what you feel is connected to what your body is doing. And nobody can explain that better than our friend Denitra. So I'm going to hand it over to her.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much. So, goodness gracious, this has been so powerful. Mr. Brown, thank you for being here. Thank you for being transparent. The last time you were here with Mr. Davis. And shout out to him on tonight for his carnivore journey that has absolutely changed his life. And G, I agree with you. Why do they get to lose weight so much faster? I don't know. I often say we were like in a certain range at the same time, and I looked up and he was 30 pounds gone. I'm like, something ain't fair about this. But he's doing a tremendous job on his journey, as we're talking about men tonight. An amazing job on his journey. He's we call him the skinny guy now. He's unrecognizable to people who haven't seen him in a long time, and so he appreciates his carnivore. He was just fixing what we call a pizza casserole. People think you can't eat pizza and that you need to be deprived on carnivore, and you don't. So we eat pizza. We just don't eat the crust. As you said, G, that's the paper mache part of the pizza. It's the water in the flour. So skip that and you can have all the pizza you want because the toppings are pretty much low carb. So my task tonight is to talk about how all of this comes together and how we kind of bag it up with a little science, because when we come here, we're sharing with you our lived experiences. But what we've all found is that those lived experiences are rooted in science. We're not just here making it up. So tonight, my goal is to have us think about two hormones. One is cortisol, one is insulin. You all know insulin is one of my favorite ones. We talk about it every week, and we talk about it in the format of insulin resistance. So I'm going to share my screen for those who may be first time here tonight, so that you can take a look at this. So bear with me 1 second. I'm going to share. So when we think about this whole idea of insulin resistance and what Mr. Brown is sharing, what G is sharing, what Robin is sharing, what I'm sharing, is that we all have fallen into a place of insulin resistance. What does that mean? We are metabolically dysfunction because we are overeating carbohydrates. And remember, carbohydrates is a fancy name for sugar. And so you keep hearing us say sugar. Some people differentiate between the sweet sugar you eat and the plant sugar you eat and the ultra processed sugar you eat. I'm saying to you tonight that all of them are carbohydrates. It's a saccharide, and saccharide means sugar. That's straight science. It has nothing to do with us or our experience. That is the science. What I want to drive us to is understanding what's happening when your body is insulin resistant and why you end up with these things that are labeled the circle of hearts, whether it is blood sugar, whether it is low HDL, autoimmune, whether it's high blood pressure. Many times I hear, high blood pressure. My doctor has me on 2 pills and told me to get off salt and get off sugar. The reason why your blood pressure is impacted by salt is because it's retaining water, because carbohydrates have dehydrated your body. You hear that? Carbohydrates dehydrated. That dehydration is why it is retaining the salt. Salt in and of itself is not bad. What we know on here is when we take all of that out, our body's going to crave salt because it is a requirement. If you go to the hospital and you are dehydrated, the first thing they're going to do is put you on a sodium drip. So you're looking at this, and I place this here for men and women to take a look and find yourself here. Where are you here? Is it fatty liver? Is it glaucoma? Is it blindness? Is it kidney disease? Is it skin disorders? Are your eyes starting to darken? Do you have sugar cravings? Robin mentioned mental disorders, obesity, visceral fat. If you find yourself anywhere on these circle of hearts, then it's likely that you are insulin resistant. Notice what I did not say. I did not say you are pre-diabetic. I did not say that you are diabetic. And many times when we are looking at our A1C, the doctor is usually only looking to determine those two things relative to your blood sugar. And what I want to call your attention to tonight is that these other things are also a manifestation of high blood sugar. So I want to share that with you. Take a screenshot, do whatever you need to do so you can identify you or someone you love that's on this chart that are not looking at these disorders from a place of blood sugar and insulin. And so then the next one I want to share with you is, this is where people get really mad at me. And I just repeated this, but I just want to give you a visual that anything that is plant-based is going to be sugar-based. And if it's sugar-based, it's a carbohydrate. If it's a carbohydrate, it is, in fact, a sugar, a saccharide, and it is going to metabolize in your body as sugar. Now, the one that we call the sweet tasting one, yes, that one is going to be a rapid blood spike. The other one, the complex carbohydrate, is going to be gradual, but nonetheless, it will material. Whether it's whole grains, legumes, vegetables, starchy foods, you love your oatmeal, all these things seem benign to you, they will be sugars in your body. The only two macronutrients that are required and essential for your survival are protein and fat. Carbohydrates in any form are non-essential. And I often say that you will live longer and better without them. And as a carnivore, that is exactly what we are experiencing. Longer life and better life without carbohydrates. So let's get into the science a little bit. So cortisol is one of the hormones. We talked a lot, and I appreciate Robin, and I even appreciate Frederick saying, yeah, no, I've never been able to tie that to emotions, because we know most of the time that's not what men do. However, what happens is this cortisol is directly tied to the stress. So then if I ask Frederick that same question and take the emotional word out, because most men are going to say that they're not emotional. But if I put that same word in there and say, hey, do you think the stress that's happening in your life is causing you to overeat and eat more? So Frederick, that's a question for you.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that one a little more than the emotional part. Stress, high stress. I have been in high stress situations, and like, say the heck with it. I'm just gonna do it. Just give it to me and don't worry about it. So yeah, I would agree. Stress would be the main reason for men.
I appreciate you validating that, and it's kind of tied to emotions. It's just a different name, and what the stress actually becomes, because Robin is right on track, right? What it really does is those emotions are suppressed, and so because they are suppressed, they become stress. That was a rhyme. Hold up, y'all get that? Write that down. Stress, suppressed. Did y'all catch that? Uh-oh, I got a little rapper in me. All right. So with that being said, when you have high cortisol, then your blood sugar rises. So even if it's not totally tied to an emotional thing, but when you are eating thing, just the fact that your cortisol is running high because of a stressful situation, then your blood sugar is going to spike. When blood sugar spikes, we know now that that's high insulin. That high insulin is going to cause inflammation. It's going to cause the fat storage. It's going to cause the cravings. It's going to cause fatigue. So many of our men are walking around in these high stress situations, and they're finding that that is causing stress to their body and causing this inflammation, right? Because blood sugar is rising. Here's what we must know is when blood sugar is high in the blood, and when insulin is high in the blood, we will not release the inflammation that's on our body. It will only go into storage mode. All right. So cortisol is an anti-muscle. It's anti-testosterone. Let me say that just a little bit louder for the men in the back and the men in the replay. Yes, when cortisol is high, it is anti-testosterone and it is pro-fat gain. What's happening in your body is that you are having a fight or flight mode, and you cannot repair in that state. Now, insulin, I've talked about what insulin resistance is. The job of insulin in your body is to shuttle sugar out of the bloodstream. That is the job of it. It is so when you have constant cortisol, constant insulin, constant fat gain, especially belly fat, then insulin is all over the place. So now insulin resistance looks like mood swings, erectile dysfunction, low energy, poor sleep. Men, you don't need more motivation. You need a metabolic restoration. And kudos to Frederick for being here, being present and sharing that. Kudos for Sam being here and on the same journey. And even Robin's husband on a journey, the people in her area on a journey to try to change what's happening in their body. So let's look at some of the physical conditions that happen. Belly fat, erectile dysfunction, joint pain. Frederick mentioned that. Poor sleep. What's happening mentally is brain fog, anger, or shutdown. So men are coming home. They don't want to talk. They don't want to engage with you. That's the high cortisol talking, right? And then when you talk about depression and then that low self-worth, right? It happens to men, although they're not maybe saying it out loud. And what does it look like relationally? It looks like withdrawal from intimacy, lack of patience with spouse and kids, emotional coldness, avoidance of conversations. So these are the things that we see happening in relationship, and not just marital, right? We're talking and thankful for the growth in this marriage where they're being transparent and putting it all out for us and how this food has impacted it. But in any relationship, a brother, sister, a friend to friend, you better check your sugar. I know for me and Sam, there have been times where we got along better over a donut or a cookie only to crash later, right? And so that just speaks to this brain clarity. If you are on a sugar high, your brain fog is happening, there's no way you're going to be able to get along with someone. Okay. So when you talk about how all of that works is there's not a way as a man that you will be able to leave from a depleted body. Robin mentioned a moment ago about us presenting decaying bodies. You all, when you see this darkening in your body, because it's one of the first signs of insulin resistance, and it starts in the eyes. So Frederick, thank you for mentioning glaucoma, because it starts in your eyes. You have this dark ring around your eyes that look like a raccoon, basically. And you keep blaming it on sleep. And it probably is sleep, because guess what? When you're eating all these carbohydrates, you're not sleeping well. You're not getting good sleep. And so you have this manifestation in the darkness around your eyes, the darkness around your neck, the dryness even in your ears, in the back of your ears. All of that is a sign of insulin resistance. It is an over consumption of carbohydrates, right? And so the idea here is to, yes, minimize your stress. But guess what? When you change what you eat and you remove these sugars from your diet, guess what? Your brain is going to be better functioning to be able to manage stress. So it helps you manage stress better. And let's just talk about the belly. So this belly, it's not just a belly, it's a hormonal store. It's something happening in the hormones, right? So this visceral fat around your organs, That's where it starts first. Before you get the pudge out, it started taking over your organs first. Is a sign of insulin resistance and cortisol overload. Visceral fat releases its own inflammatory hormones, keeping the cycle going. So how do we fix all of that? And we've already heard from the Browns how they fixed it is carnivore, right? So we label this thing carnivore. And sometimes the word carnivore is like, oh no, I just can't eat all of that meat. That's what I hear often. That's all you eat is meat. And I'm like, yes, gladly and proudly. But essentially, what you're actually doing is removing carbohydrates from your diet. Remember, they are non-essential to your diet. So you've taken those things out, and now we label you a carnivore. But really, what you are is a non-carbohydrate. If that makes you feel better, use non-carbohydrate. What we're saying is that all of that sugar I was with some people yesterday. My friend was drinking a drink, and I was explaining to him that that's 11 teaspoons of sugar. Come on, let's go in the kitchen and just pour you out 11 teaspoons of sugar and let's drink that. Let's go ahead and just have that, because it's essentially the same thing. So we're not asking for something weird here. That's not what we're doing. What we're saying is that carbohydrates are causing you to crack. They are not your friend. They are not your buddy. They are stealing your life. You are walking dead, basically. You're walking, you're alive, but your body is dying on sugar. And sugar is the same as carbohydrates. So what do? We want to know that beef builds, sugar burns, and carnivore calms. So we're trying to move into a place of having carnivore as our main source, whether it is eating beef fat. I know that sounds weird, but y'all, if you ever get some beef fat, I got some for free the other day. It had to be about 6 pounds. I thought I was going to go crazy. Yes, and it was all free. I'm talking about the straight good white kind. And guess what? Today I made chicken wings, listening to G, in my beef fat. Man, I have not been able to stop going in the kitchen. Okay? 3 things I want to share. Example 1 is an emotional shutdown at home looks like this. A husband avoids his family. He's not cold. He's exhausted. His insulin is high. Cortisol is higher, and he's running on fumes. Carnivore can give him energy, and then he can be better. Example number 2, he's an angry boss. The man who's snapping at coworkers. That's not personality. It's low testosterone and blood sugar swings from a breakfast of oat, fruit juice, and coffee. He needs fat, not flavorless carbs. And the last one is the overweight father. Dad's eating healthy, granola, and still gaining weight. His body is inflamed. He thinks it's aging. It's addiction to glucose dressed as wellness. Swap the snacks for steak and watch him change. Ladies, you want your man to be better in all areas. Stop forcing him. Baby, you need to eat your vegetables. Baby, you need to eat your salad. Quit forcing him to do that and allow him to have a steak. Now, don't y'all get mad at me, but this is what I'm going to say. Meat needs meat, and I'm going to turn it back to the panel. I'm done. I got a fast moment from G right there. Meat.
There you go. No, I know. Listen, while you were talking, I felt you were going in this direction. I think of people who are addicted. So if you go to rehab, you don't come out of rehab and go back to the corner. You don't come out of rehab and then go to the party where all the liquor is. So the same thing, you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. So now date night looks different. Date night for him and I look so different now. Whether it is a walk, it's the intimacy, the talking, the getting to know your partner again that comes into play. I love how you gave those scenarios, talking about giving scenarios about men. It's like he came home, and then for us, we emotional. I've been here all day with the kids, and then all of a sudden you come in, you ain't helping around the house. Both of y'all arguing through sugar. And you don't realize it because now there's such a calmness. There's such a level head. You just have a level head. I right now can't wait to get off this show because I really want to go hang out with you. I'm so sorry, y'all. Somebody, I know, but it's true. And I encourage people to watch this show. Go back and watch the replay. Get with your man. We have a man on here. It's Hey Brother Man. This is how we are talking with you. Women, we have to heal. Tomorrow's going to happen whether you are here or not. So start placing yourself first. Stop loving him through your food like that. Love him through a walk. Love him through a massage. I guarantee you he'll like a foot massage or a back rub or a scalp. Honey, you turn around and get that going, their eyes get to rolling. You have to start doing something else.
You started some stuff on there, G. I see some things happening up there.
Okay, you see how that little smile on his face. He know, yeah, it is. Oh, and your man have a beard. Go ahead and just start scratching that joker. He trust me, he gonna love it. Parted, scratching. When the last time? Now, see, we old school. When the last time he sat between there and you got that comb and just scratched his scalp? But I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I don't know if we have anything starred or what we got going on. Go ahead and ladies, tell us what you got going on your channel this week coming up. Robin, we'll start with you.
All right. So I this coming Saturday on Carnivorous Grandma Speaks, I will be having my 3 coachees come back. They're all at 90 Days Carnivore. So we want to hear from them. We want to hear what it's like to be 90 Days Carnivore, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So come and see us on that Saturday night at 5:30 Eastern Time. I also want to mention the meetup.
Oh, wait. Yes. Stop it. My bad. Wait. Bam. Come on.
Damn. This is the Impact Meetup and Eat Up with Carnivorous Grandma and Friends. It's going to be August 30th at 12 to 4 Eastern Time. Registration is $25. You guys, it's going to be some good food at this event. I promise you, you're going to have an amazing, clean, sugar-free meal from Uncle Mike's Smoked Meats. My son, the Nubian brand, is going to be spinning the tunes for us. We got 2 docs coming in the house. We got Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Tony Hampton. So I'm super excited about that. Denitra's going to be in the house. Terry Carver from My Terrific Life is going to be in the house talking to us about what it's like to be carnivore on the road. And then, of course, we got Frederick and G from Hanging with the Browns. The theme is it's a family affair. It's going to be right here in Michigan. Go ahead and scan that QR code and get your tickets. We do have an after party. So this is going to be like, after the party is over, what do the family do, right? We're going to have some dancing. We're going to play some cards. We're going to play some dominoes. We're going to have us a good time. So come on out and join us.
Okay.
So where the fans at? Exactly. So if you got a fan, bring your fan because we're going to be popping them and we're going to be learning the boots on the ground. So I'm very, very excited. And I really hope to see you here in Michigan for the Impact Meetup. Thank you.
Got my ticket already.
Yes. All right, Denitra.
Absolutely. So the reason why we're going to be able to have an after party from a carnivore meal is because we will not have a brain fog. We will be energized. We won't have what I call the itis. So therefore we can keep hanging and we can keep going. So I'm looking forward to being there, Robin. So for me, I do want to say happy Memorial Day. We realize today is Memorial Day to all of those that have served. Shout out to my family members, including my father, who is a veteran, on tonight. For me, I just need you to mark your calendars for June the 7th, Saturday, June the 7th. I will be launching a channel. I'm not going anywhere from here. I have a channel. I'm going to be launching a show. Folks got to help me, y'all. I'm still learning. But I will be doing a show on June the 7th at 3:30 Central Time. And so I'm just trying to say it out loud for me and y'all to hold me accountable that I get it done, because I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But now it's the time. June the 7th is a very special day. And if you come that day, you'll be able to learn why. So that's what's happening with me. And I appreciate tonight and being able to share with you all. Give no carbohydrates a try.
That's it. That's it. We are out.